Hey mamas, it's Kristen Noel, founder of the Intuitive Divorce, and I'm popping on here right after class with my beautiful team member, Master Coach Joe Young. And once again, yet again, as always, we just had an incredibly moving class. And while we come in, and oftentimes we've got like a little micro teaching. And today, by the way, the teaching, this is a very technical term. It was about icky parts. So we'll dive into that right now. But we never really know where the class is going to go and what's going to get unpacked. And that is such beautiful medicine to witness and to workshop and to process because, mark my words, a mama navigating any kind of divorce adversity really needs a place to land and really needs a place to process and to just tell the truth and keep it real. Like, this sucks. And so, while it sounds a little bit hypothetical or hypocritical to say, hey, let's dive into the icky parts, nobody wants to dive into icky parts. What are icky parts? All right, so again, very technical term, but the icky parts are really sort of like the opportunity to look under beneath something, beneath a trigger, beneath something that is causing a reaction, making you feel out of control or emotional or overwhelmed or anxiety ridden. And it's your opportunity to just pause and say, you know what? Yes, this is happening and it sucks, but I want to take a look at this. I want to explore this so that not that I have all this time and capacity to get into more, but while I'm working through this process of divorce, I want to clean up some of the stuff that got me here. I want to reclaim my life. I want to reclaim my power. I want to heal. And the way that we do that is to look underneath the bed, to look at the boogeyman. What's the boogeyman? It's the stuff that I've been shoving aside. Maybe those are the feelings that I didn't want to feel. Maybe those are the things that I didn't acknowledge. Maybe that is the stuff that I wouldn't admit seeing, feeling, knowing, sensing, intuiting, hearing, all of it. But if it's showing up for you right now and it's kind of gnawing away at you, it's great. It means you're ready to see it. So, as opposed to just like this long, drawn out healing process, you get to deal with it all. You get to look at it right now. And again, that doesn't mean like you're going in for like a surgical procedure. It's not like the massive excavation of your life. It's about making powerful connections. For example, and then maybe this is a good place for us to start, Joe, right? Today, class started where one woman really made some powerful connections about what got downloaded in her family of origin and how she played a certain role in her family, and then how that was carried through her life and thread through the other chapters and the other relationships, and how she met and married someone that was a match for that wound, because that's the way it works. So, right now, here you are in a divorce. You are uncoupling. You are unmatching because something is ready to be healed. And it's not about the other person, it's about you. Where are the places? Where are the things that you abandoned or you didn't look at or you weren't ready to see? Because you're ready to see them now. And you're ready to become the mom that you want to be and the woman you've always wanted to be, living the life that you've always desired. And it's your opportunity. And this is no like rainbows and unicorns. This is why we talk about divorce as an opportunity all the time. And it's pretty remarkable to see.
Yeah, it really is. I think we stepped into this topic today based on talking to our mamas and realizing that they all had certain things that they were avoiding getting into, avoiding looking at, avoiding feeling, and how to get comfortable looking at those parts.
Mhm.
And I think a big piece that was revealed today was, first of all, showing yourself that it's safe to look, right? Because the thing that's so scary about the boogeyman under the bed or the things that we've been avoiding typically are that they're unknown. They sit out there as this daunting thing, and we've perceived how it's going to go, or we've perceived what it's going to mean. And that comes from those wounded things from our upbringing, oftentimes. And so, yes, when this first mom came in and she talked about a core wound that she had from childhood and how she was still seeing that play out, and she realized that she was avoiding certain things today in order to avoid that feeling. And so,
Mhm.
just noticing it, naming it, like, what are you not willing to admit? And I remember someone saying to me back in the day, what is the one thing that you know that you wish you didn't know?
Mhm.
And it was like, oh, that's big. And
Mhm.
so, but I realized that once I named what it was, then I could do something about it. Then I could start to just take one little step at a time
Mhm.
to not make it scary, to look at it and open it up and go, oh, wait, this isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. But what is here that I can learn from and shift from? Because we spend so much time avoiding. And we often have moms come and say, I'm so exhausted. I just don't have anything left. And in fact, I think this one woman started today by saying, I feel like I'm downed and I keep getting kicked,
Mhm.
right? And it's like, okay, let's look at that. Let's see what's actually happening here.
Mhm.
Because when we avoid and push things under the bed time and time and time again, it's exhausting because we're spending so much energy trying to keep it hidden
Mhm.
instead of bringing it out and going, let me just take one little step to look at what's happening here.
You can run, but you can't hide. I mean, like
That's
the
right.
bottom line is there's a cost to avoidance. It doesn't
Yes.
go away. You just tote it around from life chapter to life chapter to life chapter. And so, where this all leads is to the story that you start to tell and the story of your life that you commit to. And we don't realize that we're doing it. And for example, this one woman was getting triggered. We all get triggered. What happens when we get triggered? When we aren't in a place of self reflection and self awareness, and we're not threading our feelings together and with experiences and saying, oh, I see why I'm doing that, or that's a pattern of mine. So when this particular woman got triggered, it was very easy to just all of a sudden like take the hand of the trigger and go down the dark hallway. And then all of a sudden, you're gathering evidence to support a narrative. And the narrative is, I'm a victim. He abandoned me. He did this, blah, 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 blah. And those things can be true, but those are the energy leaks because we don't control what he did, what he does, what he thinks, how he acts. So, how do we flip that narrative? And I reminded her that while what you're feeling. Obviously, we validate someone's feelings, and this is true. This experience is true. This stinks. This, financial mess is horrible. This abuse is horrible. All of these things. How do you take back your power? What is yours to control? Is there a place where you have abandoned yourself in this story? And I say this not to blame, shame, or guilt you. I say this to empower you. Because if you can see where you have abandoned yourself, where you have given your power away, where you allow someone else's narrative to be your narrative, then you can do something about it. And by the way, the change can happen quite rapidly because the minute you become aware of it, you can do something about it. And so we've all done this in our lives. This is what emotional healing is. Obviously, you're going to be triggered in divorce. Obviously, a lot's going to come up. But instead of trying to shove it aside, wouldn't it just be better to find tools and strategies and new ways of being within self and new ways of dealing with adversity? New ways of like just like actually just maybe doing nothing and saying and observing and being curious and saying, okay, this is what it is, and I don't like it. And this is familiar. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do this marriage anymore. I don't want to do life like this anymore. I don't want this chaos. I don't want this control. Whatever it is for you, whatever that version is, you get to decide. And this is what is so exciting about this work because this is really the foundation of how you're going to get through your divorce. Because this stuff is going to come up. You've got stuff to look at. And it's okay because you're a human being walking through this human experience. And that is just the reality. But that is exciting. It's really, really, really exciting. I think everyone in the room was in tears today, right? At one
Yeah.
point or another, it was sort of unexpected. It's because we touched on stuff. We touched on the rawness and the realness that we don't create a lot of space for. And we don't have a lot of time for, or we say we don't have a lot of time for, we have time for it. And it's the most important thing you can do. And this is how you fill your cup. You fill your cup by taking care of yourself. You fill your cup by honoring yourself. You fill your cup by saying, yeah, I did that in the past, but I'm kind of done with that now. And I see how these things connect. And I don't want to be this way or be in relationship in this way or have my next chapter look this way. And it's yours to control. And it's super exciting. It's super exciting. And we are seeing this literally in real time every week. And it's absolutely amazing. And these women are going through complicated divorces. I am not saying this is rainbows and unicorns. Far from it. But I'm telling you, they are making monumental shifts in their lives. And that's the most important thing because they will get to the end of their divorce. They will get to the end of their divorce, but they are forever transformed.
Yeah. Because these things will keep showing up beyond your divorce if we keep avoiding them. So it's so important to look and ask yourself, what are you avoiding? What are you afraid of? And just start by naming it. Because even that one little step diffuses its power. All of a sudden, it's not quite so scary. So, yeah, we say all the time it's a divorce skill and it's a life skill.
So true. I mean, it was literally using that metaphor of like, because this was visceral to me as a kid, but I always remembered like brushing my teeth in my little nightgown. And I would like stand at my bedroom door and like run and take a leaping jump into my bed because I was so convinced there was a boogeyman under the bed that was going to grab my ankles. I mean, it was like that's so visceral. And then what happens is you reincarnate that boogeyman in your life to the things you don't want to look at, to the things you don't want to feel, to the things you don't know how to interact with, to things that are
Yeah.
easier to just say, let me just push that to the side.
Yeah. It's all the stuff we're shoving in the shadows, shoving
Yeah.
underneath because it feels too scary to look. And the reality is, it's just not. We've just made it that boogeyman.
hmm that's the whole thing. That's what the tears were all about today. The tears were the revelations. They were the
Yes.
beautiful, beautiful discoveries, and also just the truth telling. Because as Joe said, we say something and then we set it free. Because so often we carry secrets and judgments and thoughts and beliefs about ourselves, and we think we're hiding them from the world. And we just lug it around and we lug it around and we lug it around. The mere fact, or the mere like experience of being able to state it and release it just diffuses it. It's literally that simple. So we know that there's a lot coming up in your divorce. And we know that it's so easy to be triggered. And we know it's so easy to get caught up in an old story and an old narrative. But we want you to know there's a better path to a better divorce and there's a better path to a better life. And the women who are leaning into this work right now in the mess, when nobody thinks they have the capacity to deal with it, they are the women who are divorcing smarter and they're healing faster and they're protecting their kids and they're reclaiming their lives. And we see it in motion every week. And we just want you to know, we remind you over and over and over again. We're so grateful that you're here and you're listening to this. But I want you to know these women are no different than you. They just took an action step and they're feeling many of the things that you are feeling. and we're unpacking it and workshopping it and processing it. And those classes and those group coaching containers are really, they're really sacred spaces.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
I'm personally touched by them and really appreciate what women coming together can do and what they can
Yeah.
heal.
And the beautiful piece of it is when one person shows up and shares and steps into their courage to share what they are, you watch it across the board. It gives permission to every other person in the room to do the same thing.
Hmm.
And that's the magic of this beautiful group community.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
invaluable,
it
truly.
is. And I also say this is just a gift to self, Mama. You need to be supported and nurtured and honored. And it starts with advocating for yourself. So we feel very honored that you're here and that you're listening to us. And we hope that you're inspired and we hope that you're curious and we hope that you believe that this is possible for you too, because it is. And we also hope that you're on our newsletter list so that you get all of our beautiful offerings that we're constantly putting out. I mean, you can check us out over at intuitivedivorce.com and follow us on social media at Intuitive Divorce and check out our app and check out all our gorgeous things and ways to connect to you and to help you heal and transform this divorce experience for you and your kids and your future chapter. So, we are here. We'd love to chat with you and hope to hear from you soon.
Yes. Say yes to you.
Yes to you. No more icky parts.
No more icky.
Oh, and the last thing I'm just going to say about that, the icky parts. What if, just what if, the icky parts that we're always trying to push away, what if they are just gifts in disguise? Just reminding us who we are and what we're ready to do now, and what we're ready to heal, and what we're ready to move into. So I'm just going to leave you with that.
Beautiful. Till next week.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.